here that contrasted and examined Precious versus The Blind Side, and looked at that in the context of black motherhood specifically. When I looked at those two pieces, actually I went and saw Precious. I could not bring myself to go see The Blind Side. Although a friend of mine went and gave me the food, so that's how I compared the two. I only look at it just from the perspective of black motherhood specifically. It was depressing to me that in writing this piece, I went through great pains to try to determine a positive image of black motherhood in American film. And I could not think of one, really, in recent history in which there was a positive image of black mothering in American cinema. I contrasted these two specifically, Monique's Academy Award-winning portrayal of Precious's mother, and not Sandra Bullock, but the mother of the man that she adopted and raised, who was a crack addict. And looking at those two pieces, the very abusive, physically abusive, hateful, monster-like image of mothering versus this drug-addicted, neglectful image of mothering. And I said, where is my reality in terms of black mothering in American cinema? And how damaging is it that at the very same time, both of these movies were in the cinema at the same time, at the very same time, these are the images of black mothering that is being shown not only in this country, but around the world. This is what people around the world will come to believe is the typical black motherhood experience. I don't see a reflection of my mother. I don't see a reflection of my grandmother. I don't see a reflection of my aunt. I don't see a reflection of me, everybody. And as I went back through and I tried to think of things, I said, okay, well maybe kind of positive parenting was in Boys in the Hood, for example. So the character who was Trey's mother was professional. She was accomplished. However, she abruptly abandoned her son and her father's house. So she was kind of successful, but she didn't really take the whole 9 yards. And so at the end of the day, she was a neglectful mother. And then Akila and the Beast, perhaps, was a positive image. But then I thought about it. Here is a mother who apparently becomes irate that her daughter is participating in spelling bees to such a point that she's about to literally drag her off the stage in the middle of a spelling bee. I did not think of a contemporary example of positive black mothering. And it really saddened me to think that the black motherhood experience is one that has been denigrated so completely, and in fact the denigration of black motherhood seems to be the type of images that get particular kudos, frankly, by the Academy in terms of recognition with the awards. So, specifically with that image, not even talking about the over-sexualization of the black woman's body and other forms of popular culture, but that one space that I feel is the most precious, is the most personal, and that is the act of mothering our children, seems to be one that is particularly denigrated in our culture, and it really is a very sad and depressing state.
And when thinking about visual presentation and image of the millennium African-American woman, I have to compare it to the 20th century African-American woman. And the two, although media wasn't there to fuel the positive or the image per se of the woman, of the 20th century woman in a positive way, as I concur with you, the negativity has always been there. Yet the 20th century African-American woman throughout the century fought it at every turn visually. And in your introduction, you spoke about Dr. Height. And when you think of Dr. Height and the women of the club movement, you have to think of them rejecting the images that were of these preconceived notions about black women, about their racism is a given, but about their sexuality and about their morality, and how these women fought at every turn to reclaim that image, make it their own, and give America and the world a different image of African American women, and they did that through dress. You spoke about nonverbal presentation and the image that you can't turn away from. You could only close your eyes. Well, of course, the first thing that you would notice about a person is what they're wearing. And once you see someone in their carriage, in their deportment, their dress and adornment has 100% to do with your immediate reaction or your first thought about that person. And it's very interesting to me that while we're bombarded with this new image of the black woman, the old image of the black woman sort of gets put on the shelf. And I don't think that's fair. But what this new millennium black woman could do, or African American woman could do, is they could take a page from the 20th century women on how they fought vehemently to reclaim their image, to redefine their image for themselves. And just as you were saying, there are no portrayals, no positive portrayals of black mothers in the media. I think that women in popular culture, the video vixens, the Beyoncés, if you will,